Traffic too. Yep. All right, folks. Sorry about that. We had to check the camera feed one more time, but we're back live here. Again, we're sitting in our new shuttle bus broadcasting area here in the corner of Turn 12. Everybody's checking out. We're humble beginnings is what we have here today, but we're very pleased with what's going on. We've got cameras all the way around the track. Again, this is a test broadcast. Jordan's checking out all the camera angles. We're setting some home positions and just making sure that we have good connectivity between everything and making sure we have great camera angles when we come to race here in July. We've got Marcelo here. Marcelo is a student of Ridesmart. He's been here a few times. He's talking about his experience here. Real quick, from the get go, tell us about your experience with Ridesmart, and would you recommend it to anyone else?
Yeah, it has been an amazing experience. I think every time that you have the chance to improve and get better, it's always valid. I got my training with you on Mini Moto One, and I strongly advise everyone to actually have that training. It doesn't matter what level of performance do you have. I strongly believe that riding at the track, it's always a pleasure, but you need to be, of course, know your limits, know your reason to be here. And as Josh was saying, don't chase lap times. Try to have a nice day. I'm gonna be also in the mini motos too, like eventually, and also the flat track. And all the experience I can get from you guys that are basically racers is gonna be amazing for me as well. So I'm glad I I'm here with you guys. Thank you so much.
Dude, thank you. I'm gonna ask you one more thing. You're gonna come race with us one day?
Yeah, maybe let's see about that. My wife's pregnant right now, so
Okay.
yeah, waiting for a baby. Let's see how that goes. But I would love it. I would love if I could.
Well, we'd love to have you on the grid. Thanks for coming up, spend some time with us. Congratulations on the baby, and I'll see you down in the paddock in a little bit. Hey man, I'll come do some laps before the day's over. All right, good buddy of mine here, Mr. Ronnie Groves. Ronnie is on top of being a great human being. He's also a today. Ronnie is a control rider for RideSmart, but we're going to call him the ambassador of the CMRA today. Ronnie's been with the CMRA for a long time. Ronnie is a seasoned racer. Ronnie, tell us about the CMRA, why you race with it, how long you've been there, and everything about the CMRA.
Hey, my main man with the plan himself. So one thing that he left out is that we are kindred spirits in the sense that he's also a bass player. I'm a bass player. I've been playing music for a very long time, and so from the first time we met, I knew we was gonna be bros, and we had an instant bromance. So we'll talk about it in another chapter. But he wants me to talk about the CMRA, and so I had a humble beginnings, and my race career actually started right here at the Circuit of the Americas with Ridesmart in 2016. Actually, I believe it was. And so I did my first track day in about October, November, somewhere there about, and I did a coaching session with Ty Howard. And at that time, I was doing hood rat stuff with my hood rat friends in the streets. And I thought I was an expert rider until coming through turn 10, Ty Howard was on a KTM and he coming through on the back wheel. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And he left us. And so coming back in the classroom, we had classroom sessions at that time. He explained how to drive through and stuff. And I recognized right there in that moment that I did not know how to ride. And so from there, I did a few more track days with Ride Smart and went right into racing in 2017. So here we are in 2026. I've been doing it from that point on. I sold all my street stuff and I went full on into racing, suspension, the whole 9 yards. And I've learned so much about the motorcycle. That's the one thing that I think has been the biggest gain for me is that riding in the streets, you don't get to get into geometry, suspension, telemetry, and all of the different things that can make you go fast. And in the latter stages, which is where I am now in the past 5 years, we getting into data. And so data actually gets you even faster because you're looking at lap times. You can overlay your times over somebody who's faster than you, see how you can gain time, see where you lose in time, and so on and so forth. So I think no, I don't think I know with 100% certainty that racing with the CMRA organization has improved my ability to ride. Now, I've had a few incidents. I've had incidents in the streets and both in the track. And let me tell you, by far, the incidents that I've had on the streets have left me scarred. And I still have road rash today. Whereas being on the track, the amount of times that I've been down and I'm still here, right? The thing with the track is that everyone's going in the same direction. Everything is predictable. Racing is about predictability, about being smooth, and so I cannot speak enough about how much organizations like track day organizations like Ridesmart have helped me as a rider. And not just that, taking those skills that I've learned from Ridesmart and applying that to actual racing with CMRA has improved my riding skills tenfold over the past 9, 10 years. So I wouldn't change it for anything, and I would recommend this. And I just need to say also what Josh and Bittinger's Motorsports have done for racing in Texas and racing as a whole, bringing this live stream to racing. I think it's phenomenal. What he's done with Ride Smart, what dude, you have no idea. I'm not trying to toot your horn or nothing, but I think this is what's needed to take this sport to the next level. And so I appreciate you and everything you do. So that does that answer your question? I took the long route.
No, that's amazing, and I thank you very, very much for that. But you hit on something hard from the get-go. You said we're kindred spirits, right? And you can say that because of base all you want, but the fact that we race together, and that's something that I can't stress enough. The bond you get when you're coming into a corner and you can trust another human being at those speeds with those physics, those things going, is just it's a beautiful thing. And the CMRA, I came to Texas for Ridesmart, and I just met people that are amazing. And I got to say, Texas folks, if you've never been to Texas and been in the Texas riding community, come on down. The best people in the world are down here. But it made me move here. I started racing the CMRA, and I met some of the best people I've ever met in my life. And that's the thing about the CMRA. Of course, on the track, we're fierce competitors. We absolutely, I want to beat you and everything else. But we would never put another rider in harm. That just doesn't happen. We go out there and we race each other hard. We come in and we love each other. The paddock, the CMRA family is just amazing, and I can't speak to that enough. You said kindred spirit, but that's just man, racing in that paddock and that group of people just it changed my life incredibly, and I'm thankful to have you as a friend, and I just can't stress enough. I wish people would really everybody that would come ride with Rod Smart Grow and get into the CMRA. It's an amazing thing, and it really will change your life.
Well, you touched on one thing about family and stuff like that. And so the last time we were here, Patrick Ortega, one of my riding buddies who also is control riding with us here today, had an incident on the back straight to where some piece of debris, I think a camera got dislodged and hit him on his finger to where his finger pretty much busted open and almost broke his finger. And when we got back into the paddock, Walter Walker came, dude, that guy, let me tell you, what Walter has done for the CMRA and racing, and not just in racing, but we were here at a track day.
What does he say every riders meeting when he ends it? What does he say?
He says a lot.
He says, "I love you all."
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Like where his family is what it is. But anyways, he jumped right into what's it called? What do they call paramedic mode,
Yeah, yeah,
and had Patrick stitched up, and then next thing you know, we called the medics and whatnot. But he was a first responder, so he's not just a race director. He's not just a mentor to racers. He's not just a compatriot, a friend. He's also somebody who deeply cares about the sport and the people who make up the organization. So I cannot say enough about the CMRA. I cannot say enough about Ride Smart and how much it's helped me as a rider. And so I encourage anybody who's listening to this live stream, if you had not had an opportunity to come out and do one of these track days, it's life changing. Do it.
Ronnie, I'm gonna switch gears just a little bit. We were talking about today. Right now, the novices are out here. These are the newer guys. We're gonna go up through the groups here, and we're gonna have the faster riders out here soon. And we also alluded to the fact that it's also race practice. There's a lot of guys out there now that are getting ready for the July 4th CMRA event. Ronnie, you're out there control riding in the advanced group. What kind of heavy hitters are out there? What names are out there? What kind of times are they running? Are guys getting it done out there today, or what are you seeing in the advanced group today?
Absolutely. I saw Caleb Shapiro out there doing his damn thing. Bobby Davis is out there. They're running low 20s. I think into the teens is what those guys are doing. And for me also, it is I am control riding, helping the pace of these riders so they can see what their motorcycles are capable of and how to actually flow on the track. And I've got down to mid 20s so far, and I'm hoping as the temperature increases and the track conditions get a little bit better, I could probably get down a little bit lower and get some good seat time in. So this Ridesmart again came in and stepped in and absorbed CMRA to continue racing in Texas or in the southern region, and that's something that's not even talked about. How they helped that continuation of racing, and so not just that, but having a track day prior to and allowing us to have that opportunity to get some practice in, I think is a phenomenal thing, and it's gonna make it that much more enjoyable when it comes down to actually rubbing paint and rubbing rubber in racing. So
You hit on something earlier that I love talking about. I'm a huge, huge advocate of data. I love looking at squiggly lines. One of my favorite things in the world, and it's gold for those guys that are coming up through the levels. Novice, you just learn to ride. Intermediate, start getting into it. By the time you really start to get to about the experience level, if you don't start playing with data, then you are missing out. Getting your lap times out there, starting to look at just simple stuff. You don't have to have the fancy stuff that ties into your computer's ECU. It's very nice, but basic GPS, acceleration, deceleration, just finding out. Are you braking deep enough into a corner? Are you carrying enough roll speed? Simple things like that. I love looking at it. So I know that you're running data today. I know you're looking at it. So for you to be ready for July 4th, you said you're going to find some time. Where do you think you can find it? And is that showing on the data?
So one of the things that I found was that I'm tweaking with gear and ratio,
Okay.
and so I was running a 15. Is it 15 or 1544, which impacts my top speed,
50,
and
40. Now
so
tell people what that is.
so gear and ratio, so that's my front sprocket to my
Okay.
rear sprocket,
Yeah.
and so gear and ratio can impact a lot of things, right? So front sprocket being smaller helps you with acceleration, and then repair that with a bigger sprocket, you can get a lot of torque and get out of sticky situations or get out, drive out of the corner.
So where are you
But
losing or
in the
gaining good gear?
straights
Okay.
in acceleration, and so I actually went down, and I'm really trying to feel things out because in doing so, one of the things that I did, I also changed the geometry of the bike. I made my wheelbase a little bit longer, so I'm having issues turning, and so I'm not sure just yet, but I have found some time that changing my going a little bit shorter gets me that top speed, and so I'm having to shift my brake markers. So that's one of the areas that I'm working with right now to see if I could find some time. And I have been able to find some time by just making that small change.
Awesome. Yeah, Circuit of the Americas. Some people like it, some people hate it. It's the one thing about it is that the time is to be had on the straights here. Getting a good drive out of all of the key hairpins, turns 1, 11, 12, and 20 is absolutely crucial. If we look right now, we've got, I believe this is the advanced group going out, right, Jordan? Yeah, we've got the advanced group. So these are the heavy hitters. Actually, Ronnie, you're supposed to be out there right now. Are you losing a session right now because of us? You, oh, you're with experience. Okay, so you've got a minute to hang out. All right, cool. Well, yeah, these are the advanced guys. So these are the fastest guys today. Some of the guys out here doing race practice. See if we can get a look at some of these bikes and see who's who out there. That's something we're going to be working on. Make sure we can see who's where. Ronnie, you notice any of those riders? You know who's who? This is the lead pack. Somebody's going a little bit wide out there. That's turn 11. That's one of the hardest turns. You're talking about gearing. That turn right there on the back stretch. That's probably the most important turn for getting drive and getting your gearing right.
So this is exactly, I see, and you're exactly right, Josh. This is where I'm working on to try to get some more time because I've got a lot of rolls, and that's another thing too. So changing that gearing has impacted my roll speed, right? And so now I'm having to carry a little bit more speed to get that drive out of the corners. Oh, there go Bobby Davies right there. He's moving pretty quickly.
That's
He's
number one, the first blue right there.
he's orange bike right there. So, but that's one of the things that is has been really impactful as far as like giving. I think I gained like 2 seconds just by making that small change.
That's the thing on the straights. We want to get the bike to top speed as soon as possible and for as long as possible. And that's where the easy time to be had is. A lot of riders go out and try to just hang off the bike and turn harder and brake harder. But honestly, being smart and getting good exit drive is crucial, especially this track, to making your lap times drop down really without working any harder, just making those smart changes. So Bobby Davies is out there. Who else did you say was out there today?
So Caleb Shapiro out there doing this thing. He actually does
Caleb DeCarroll.
Kip DeCarroll.
There you go.
Oh my goodness! Don't hate me for butchering your name. But he's out there moving. He's moving, man. He I think he also rode for Orange Cat in Moto America, and he does also decals for helmets and stuff like that. Pretty cool cat, pretty fast.
So the CMRA, what's interesting is that for the race coming up here in July, none of the pros are allowed. That's one of the things is that it is a club race, and we want to keep it fun for club racers. And if you have a current Moto America license, you're not going to be allowed to race in that event. But that means that the fastest of the club races are out here, and that's what you're seeing out here today. A lot of our instructors actually are going out here and playing in this session. Several instructors for Ridesmart Motorcycle School, avid white plate CMRA racers, and they're out here trying to get their hot laps as well. Some of my personal friends, I'm going to call them out. I know that Alex Gabriel, this is by far his favorite track. He's going to be out there turning a few laps today. Given he's coaching, he has duties. He's out here working with students, but I know every chance he gets, he's going to cut free and try to do some laps. Jose Cruz is out there. I know he plans on racing as well. The cool thing about this, one of the things about Rat Smart is that we try to take care of the instructors as well. These guys, they have duties to their students, but at the same time, a lot of let's see, how would I say it? The owners of Ridesmart, Dave and Quan, they were making allocations to let guys get out there and get their laps today, and that's part of like what you're doing, Ronnie. You were helping today, making sure everybody's safe, but at the same time, you're getting race practice in there, and I think it's really rad.
So that's one of the things that I enjoy about this opportunity that RideSmart has given me. Seeing this how the whole racing thing started with this organization. They've allowed me an opportunity to help folks. I enjoy doing so. One of the cats that I work with, the last go around when we were at MSR Houston, he saw me out here and he wanted to gain some time. So I've been working with him, trying to get him down, also controlling the pace here, and at the same time still having fun. And so I cannot. It's amazing that this is an opportunity that RideSmart has made available to people who are willing and able to come out and actually help advance the sport.
So right now, Jordan's playing with our camera angles. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. Right now, we're just kind of getting some shots here and there. By the time that the COTA race comes around in July, we're going to be able to follow the leaders and actually track the bikes around the track. So that's what he's working on right now. We're going corner to corner, setting some home paths and flight paths so that we can actually track bikes all the way around and see who's in the lead and follow the action from start to finish around the track. Another guy I want to tip my hat to is Mr. Michael Klessel. He's a good friend of mine. He's our number one plate in the super sport class in the CMRA. He's out here getting his laps in today, and one of the fun things is that we have our timing system here. That the FP1 system allows us to check our times through RadSmart. You'll never see Mike display his lap times. He's going to keep that to himself. He's got his own data. Nobody's going to know what he's running until it's race day. So he's out there. I've seen him on track. He's been coming around. I don't know if we can see him. Black bike, white helmet. Is that happen to be? Is that Mike right there? There's Michael Klessel. That's Mike. Yeah, Mike tears it up in our super sport class in CMRA. It's rare anybody touches him. The guy normally just by turn two, he's checked out and he's gone. He's super fast. Been doing it a long time. Wow, we're starting something.
Love you, Mike, but I gotta say, I gotta give it up to my man Aiden Sneed.
Oh yeah.
And these past couple of years, Aiden Sneed has given him a run for his money. And let me tell you, boy, that young boy, oh Lord, I gotta give it up to Aiden Sneed. And so it's so fun to see how he, as Mike being a veteran, and Aiden Sneed is a teenager,
Right.
and the run that he gives him for his money, the way how they race back and forth, trading laps. Oh man, it's amazing to watch this kid and how his racing has evolved. So give it up to Aiden Steen.
I'll tell you another one to look out for is John Galata. John Galata's he came up through he was a novice last year. This is his first year running expert this year, and he's got a lot to learn. He's just a baby, but the kid, he came from dirt. He was tearing it up in the dirt, and he was out here yesterday getting his laps in. Very respectable lap times, and he's going to be racing at COTA this year. But John's one of those what we like to call aliens. Somebody that's the funniest thing. This school. 99% of us, you got to learn this skill and then learn the next one and work your way up. And then there's that very, very few that just get on a bike and just rip. And most of them, they don't even know how they do it. And John Galata, he's one of them. What other aliens do we have out here that you would say? I got to work at it. Ronnie, you got to work at it.
One alien that I would say that I recall, in fact, two. I'll name two, and these are old school legends from my recollection. Is Dustin Dominguez, Fat Boy Racing. That kid would jump on a stock motorcycle and break a track record. Another one is JC Camacho, another alien who can just go on anything and get on any motorcycle and just rip and go fast. There's one more Doug Frenchek. Oh my goodness, Dougie Fresh, baby. Doug, I remember back in Hallett It might have been 2018, 2019, somewhere there about when Doug was still racing. That was pre-COVID days. And I'm a novice at that time. And Dougie Fresh and Dustin Dominguez was hashing it out. And me and my boy Maurice Dongai, hey up Maurice. We yeah, we were in coming into the back coming back into turn one, last corner of Hallett. And Dustin Dominguez and Dougie Frenchek split us both rear wheel sliding in, and we're looking at these like where are these guys going, what are they doing? I think we've got that on video somewhere because I was running cameras at that time. But those guys that I've called so far, Doug Frenchek, alien, uh, Dustin Dominguez, alien, JC Camacho, straight up alien. Those guys, they do things that yeah, it's just phenomenal. And then one that has come up in recent um, years here, I think he came back from retirement. What's his name? Riza Yamaha. Oh my goodness, his name eludes me at this point.
Everyone.
He broke the record in Crescent, and I think JC Camacho recently broke it again. Who had it before JC? I could see the guy's face, and I can't remember his name. Excuse me, I can't remember his name. But he's also super fast. I think he's not retired, but put it down so that he could focus on his kid because his kid is also a racer. I think he's doing go-kart racing. All these details. Somebody out there will remember who it is. But I can't remember the guy's name. He's also an alien.
You know, you hit on something there. You named another track. We're going to go ahead and talk about the other tracks that both Ridesmart and CMRA go to. You know, Ridesmart is the largest track day provider in the Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana area. We don't just go to Circuit of the Americas. Multiple tracks around here down in Houston, MSR Houston. One of our, it's our home track. A lot of instructors and owners are located in Houston. We go to MSR Crescent. That's Motorsport Ranch Crescent up in just southwest of Fort Worth. We also go to Eagles Canyon, which is a premier racetrack out in Decatur. But we have then we all my favorite track. I love Hallett. I don't. How do you feel about Hallett?
So like Hallett. Hallett is a very, I remember the first time I did Hallett, going into coming out of everybody's favorite, getting into that back straight right there. I could never figure it out until some of the faster guys said, "Hey, look for the telephone pole." And so, lots of blind corners, very short, very tight, very technical track. The only thing that I don't like about the track, and they've changed that in recent years, is they used to have an entrance that was closed off when we were racing, but they've since put a tunnel.
Right.
And so now, whilst the race is going, you can enter and exit the track at ease. But that track is phenomenal. I love that track.
Yeah. I remember that. We'd have to sit outside and wait for races to be over, and then they'd move some cones and let us go back and forth. But that's the thing about Hallett. Love the owners there. Scott and Jennifer are great. They've been taking care of that place, and they keep adding to it. Every time I go there, there's something new. There's something else. There's a new building. There's a new facility. The bathrooms, they redo the floors, and now there's a Hallett logo when you go in to use the restroom. I love what's happening on that track, and it's such a hometown feel. When you go to Hallett and just look out across the rolling hills, it's a beautiful place to be. It feels like home, and the track itself is just ridiculously fun. So we do go as far as Oklahoma. Occasionally, we will go to NOLA over in New Orleans. We haven't here in the past year or so, but that kind of comes and goes. We're hoping to get back there before too long. But yeah, and if you're coming to this, and we race. I think our season, that's one of the reasons that Texas is known to produce some of the best motorcycle racers in the country. We get to ride more down here than anywhere else. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Virginia, and by October it gets too cold and track shut down up there. But Texas, I'm personally from Houston, and MSR Houston, we ride year round. I think the past couple of January 1st, I've been on track.
Speaking about racers that come from Texas, one of the ones to look out for is little Mikey Sanchez. I think he's over there in Europe right now doing his damn thing. And that kid, let me tell you, phenomenal, natural talent. He too, I would categorize as one of those alien people. But anyways, I'm gonna cut it short here. But before I go, I gotta break out and call out my boys, Misfit Racing, Casey Lewis, Tony, Shalik, Lorenzo, Hai, Patrick Ortega, Marshall, the whole Maurice, the whole gang, Misfit Racing. Love you guys.
I'm gonna harp on that too, man. When I first came here, Casey Lewis came over to me. I always he hates it when I say this, but he was what I call the Jack Daniels Jesus. Oh my God. I came down to do a members day and I was here and the person who was hosting me at Houston, his bike broke after one session, had to go home, and I didn't know what to do. And all of a sudden here comes this big bearded wonder in a Jack Daniel set of leathers. And he's, hey man, you need a tow. And it was Casey Lewis. He came over, spent half the day towing me around, keeping me safe. And he does so much for the CMRA. He's so invested in this live stream project that we're doing right now. He started this thing. He went and he bought cameras, and over the past couple years, it was working, and he just no one had enough time to get in and just really do it the way that we're trying to do it now. So honestly, this is the tip of the hat. This whole project right here. We just want to say thank you to Casey Lewis and all the Misfit guys for all that they do for helping the CMRA. I hope we're doing it justice. And Ronnie, thank you for coming and being part of this, man. The first one, hopefully more many, and we'll get better, right?
Yes.
All
And
right.
again, this right here, man, Josh, you have no idea what this is gonna do for the sport. Just give it some time. You know, this is a pilot. It'll take some time to get some traction, but this right here is what's needed to put some eyes on racing in Texas.
Thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate it, man. Love you, brother. Have a good one. Uh, he's talking about eyes, and that's something we should have mentioned before now is that this live stream, it's not cheap to do this. Took a little bit to get here to get these cameras, and this whole thing is we want to put more eyes on the CMRA racers. And one of the big things that we want to make it easier for CMRA racers to go and ask their local businesses and companies for sponsorship. So, if my buddy Jordan here is going out and he's going to be racing next weekend, we'd like it to be if he wants to go down to his local plumbing supply company and say, hey, guys, buy my plumbing supplies during the week. And, I'm racing this weekend. Would you guys mind throwing me a couple $100 for tires? It's a lot easier to ask that question if you say, by the way, it's going to be on YouTube and you can watch me race. So we're hoping in that regard that we make it a sponsorship a little bit more accessible to racers so that they can get on the grid, increase our grid size. And that being said, we're also looking for sponsorships, which is the perfect time. Mr. Dave Johnson just rolled up to the booth. He's not very comfortable on camera. We're going to make Dave get on the microphone. We were just talking about advertising and sponsorship availability with the live stream. Yeah, he's nodding his head. Yes, he's trying to stay away from the microphone, but I'm not going to let him get away. Dave and I got into this thing, said we're going to live stream it, and it's going to cost some money to get this done right. So we need sponsors. The CMRA, I got to tell you, the CMRA is putting up $25,000 in the July event. That's a lot of purse money, and we still have open advertising for that. If you want to sponsor that event and get your name out there, it's going to be on the live stream. It's going to be all over the interwebs. We're going to broadcast this thing, but we can put your logo here right on the screen like you're seeing Ridesmart right now. If you have commercials for your business, we've got a couple of car dealerships that are wanting to come online. We're going to run commercials. We're going to be doing, we're going to have pit cams down in the pits. We're going to do interviews when riders come off the bikes. We're going to go down there and throw a microphone right in their face and have them talk about the event. And you can sponsor that. We've been talking to Pirelli. We want it to be the Pirelli pit cam. But if you've got money, your money is as good as Pirelli. So come talk to us about that. We can have you sponsor any part of the broadcast. Um, Dave, you want to talk about sponsorship opportunities and how you can help Ride Smart in the CMRA in the event? And if you want to talk about the big shootout coming up, were we allowed to say shootout anymore or not? No. Well, why not? Tell them about the event in July and why you're excited about it.
Well, I mean, it's first and probably unfortunately the last due to the COTA, um, changes that they're making going to a private track. So we're super excited about the opportunity to be down here, hold the race July 4th. And we think it's going to be a fantastic event. It's going to be a national event. And so we're pretty darn excited about that.
What do you mean by national?
Well, we've got guys coming from all over the countryside coming into races. All club level racers are welcome. I know we're probably going to end up with some pro racers out here as well. They won't be able to qualify for the purse money, but we're going to have a really good crew of racers out here. It should be some exciting times.
Cool. Thank you, Dave. Dave is what I call the master negotiator. He's the guy that works all the big deals and gets us all our sponsors. And while we're here, we might as well talk about the sponsors through today's event, Ridesmart Motorcycle School. Aprilia is our OEM sponsor. You should see the fleet of Aprilias we have available for what we call the Fly and Ride program. If you're watching this broadcast right now and you say, I want to ride COTA, what some people do is you can log on the website, you can fly down from New York and rent an Aprilia from Ride Smart Motorcycle School and take out an RSV4 on the track here. That's one of our neat programs, and we thank Aprilia for allowing us to have bikes and doing stuff like that. Who else do we got a sponsor we need to call out? We already talked about FP1 and their timing system. We pulled up some of their graphics earlier. Who else we got here?
Pitbull's been a great sponsor of ours.
Here, why don't you tell them?
So Pitbull's been a great sponsor of ours. They've been with us from the beginning. We use a lot of their trailer restraint systems. We obviously use all their front and rear stands as well. And they got just a lot of cool other, uh, toys out there that go with the stands as far as changing tires. Just makes it a lot easier, so you're not trying to lift the tire and get the axle through. So they just make great products. They last forever. You buy it once, you're done. But they've been absolutely fantastic. We've gotten gift cards from them to give out during these events. So there's always something to win when you come out to a Ridesmart event at COTA.
Last week I was trying to call you and call you, you never want to answer because you were working on a real big new sponsorship. Is that something we're talking about?
Yeah, we can talk about that. So GoPro just signed on as a new sponsor for Ridesmart, and so we are getting a ton of new cameras from them. So we're super excited about that. Our all of our instructors will run exclusively GoPro cameras on their bikes, taping and recording your event when you're here with us at the track. And all that gets played back. All that video goes up on YouTube for you to download and share and use at your discretion. But we've also got some of the new, what are they, Max 2 360 cameras, which we're super excited about because it's just, you know, having that video really took our training to the next level as far as we can see and you can see as a student what you're doing, what you're not doing. And now with 360 coming on board, to be able to see, how are you going to the brakes? How are you going, um, to the throttle. I mean, we can really start getting in. Are you on the toes, in on the outside of that peg when you're getting off to that side of the bike? I mean, so there's just a lot of little things that we can start dialing in that makes your riding that much better. It makes you safer, which ultimately makes you quicker.
Again, everybody, I want to remind you this is a test broadcast. Again, we got Jordan here in the booth. He is testing cameras left, right, up, and down, trying to get some good angles and good flight paths so that when we come back here in July, we've got some excellent footage for everyone. He's also testing, you can see now in the upper right hand corner of the screen, he's testing the FP1 timing system. Let's see, that was the advanced group that just came off track. So up now we have this would be the intermediate group. You can see them staging, and this is something this is one of the most fun times when you first start doing your track days, your first time up on the grid. You can see what happens here as you see a line of bikes, and everybody lines up behind their instructor. You'll see the instructor takes off and leaves with usually no more than 6 riders at a time. The instructor's in front is going to lead those guys around the track, and they're going to work on everything from, well, you can see the instructor looking over his right shoulder here, checking to make sure no one's coming up the front stretch. He's going to come into turn one, stay far left. That's what you do when you're out lapped. Make sure not to swing out in front of traffic, blend into traffic and rip down turn two. But you can see it's very controlled. The instructor's leading a few bikes, and they're going to go out and work on everything from vision, body position, lines, everything to make you a smooth rider. Here they are, that same group coming down turn two right now. Again, there's the instructor in the lead, coming down through turn three. Stay in the middle of the track right here. This is the spot where we have a camera out today. Normally we'd have a shot through the S's. We'll be working on that for you before this CMRA event. And here in a second, Jordan's will be able to catch the guys coming over the top at turn 10. That's when we launched the radio on. Yep, here they are. Here comes that same group up through turn 6. Turn 7 is a great turn where we teach trail braking. That's when we're slightly coming down in, you grab a little bit of brake, release off smoothly as you get to the apex, taking a look up the hill through turn 8, hold it tight to right, flip left, and this is where you can really get on the gas, drive the bike wide out onto the edge of the track and down turn 10. Now we're going to switch over to our turn 11 camera. You can see these guys coming down the hill. Again, we talked about this earlier. This is one of the turns that students really struggle with. You're coming down and you've never really come into a corner this tight before, and it's real easy to turn and tip in early and run wide. You see a lot of guys run a little bit wide here on the exit, but this is where you get on the power and really have fun down that back straight. Dave, the back straight. This is where everybody comes to have fun, right? And if you've never been to a track day, tell me what most people think about COTA and why they come here.
I I mean, it's such an iconic track. I mean, it's F1, it's MotoGP, it's everything you'd ever want in a fantastic track. But yeah, the straights, are long. You can get some high speed. Again, I think it's fantastic. But I did want to bring up, I mean, talking about sponsors, I mean, some of the best sponsorship that we've ever had was from Hart Photography. And I think, he's a great guy to talk to. He's been with us for decades from the very beginning. And, the photos that he gets. A running joke, right, is that basically, I think I've got more photos of myself now on bike than I do of my kids. So I'm not sure what that really, says about me. But anyways, does a fantastic job of all sorts of things. I mean, from wall mounts to tins to you name it. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. But Blair's just stepping into the booth right now, so I'll turn it back over to you.
Dave, I just want to say real quick from all the riders, from all the students, from all the coaches, and from all the racers, thank you today, thank you to you and Quan for everything that you do for our sport and for helping us to grow this thing and make it what it is in Texas. Thank you so much, Dave.
Absolutely glad to be here.
All right. All right. Next up in the booth, we've got a special guest here, guy who knows all about the photography side of things, Mr. Blair Hart with Hart Photography. Blair, tell everybody what you do, how long you've been doing it, all the fun things you see out there on the side of the track.
Well, my job is trying to make everybody look cool. First of all, I always say thank you guys for all the support and interest in what we do, what I do. I'm always going trackside. If track's hot, I'm out there trying to make everybody look like a rock star out on the track, putting them on the front of a cover of a magazine, things like that. That's what I do. History wise, from my side, I've worked for a couple of the bike manufacturers, worked for a couple of the leather manufacturers, things like that. Raced a little bit, grew up on bikes, raced cars a little bit. So there is a little method behind the madness of what we do and trying to get the close-up angles and trying to capture, one person's knee down versus another person's elbow down versus somebody, getting the clip point and apex right. Just trying to make it all look good and look cool for everybody.
So, for those of you that are not familiar with track days, what we're talking about here is that Blair is our resident professional photographer. So let's just take a step back and see what that means. He's a vendor here at Ridesmart. It means every event he comes, that's his business. He comes out here. He has a four-wheeler and a rig and a beautiful, very, very high dollar camera. It's probably worth more than my life. And he has access to all parts of the track. So he will go to every corner and get all the good angles. And whether you're a terrible rider, he will make you look great. Or if you're a pro rider, he will catch you at the best angle and give you those shots that you need for all your promo material. But Blair's a trip because he's a fun guy too. He's a little bit quirky, and we just got along from the time that we ever met. He's also a bit of a coffee snob. I tried to offer him something one time, I think from a gas station. He just looked at me like I was handing him poison. That was kind of funny. But we always tell the riders here that he makes jokes in the meetings not to look at him. If you ever do come to a track day and you're riding around the corner, you look off and you see that bright green vest and a guy on a four-wheeler with a really nice camera shooting at you. A lot of guys try to pose and they ended up just running off track because they're focused what they do. So don't look at Blair, because if you look at Blair, that's where you're going to go. Any stories pop into your mind about something like that happened, or anything really interesting where you were involved where, I don't know, just something happened that was neat off track?
No, the biggest thing is, everybody's out here to have fun and get their best lap times, get their best angles and things like that. And your focus has always got to be on what's in front of you, always got to be on the track and, where your braking points are, where your tip in points are, and where you're going to track out to. Don't look for the photogs. Whether you're doing one of our days or whatever, you just always want to look around and make sure you know what you're doing on track and versus looking at the photogs.
All right. Well, back on track here. Blair's got to go. Blair's got to get back out there and take pictures. We've got the intermediate group up right now. You're very welcome. That's how he makes his money. See, he's got to go, folks. Thanks for taking time, Blair. Yeah. So we're going to take a quick look at the intermediate group here for just a few more minutes, and then we're going to end this thing. And I think Jordan and I are going to grab some helmets and hop on bikes and have a little bit of fun for the rest of the day. So, again, this is the intermediate group. You can see the pace is just a little bit more than the novices. I like to call the intermediate group the working class part of a track day org. These are the guys that they've got the shakes out, they got the basics down, and now the guys are starting to have the tools to learn how to ride their motorcycle. And they're out here just working. They're trying this, they're trying that, doing the drills, and working their way up to being a better rider lap by lap. So we're looking here, kind of the riders coming up from turn 6 up through the hill. Everybody seems to be staying in line pretty well here. Looks like this is a good group. Everybody's pretty much coming in, tagging the apex of turn 7 here. That bike's a little bit wide coming up the hill. Oh, that's an instructor. He's going to pull in tight here, hold it, flip, drop up the hill towards 9. That's another instructor. That's a couple guys playing right there, if I'm not mistaken. Again, thanks to Jordan Pollard for doing all this work. Jordan got drug into this about a week ago, and I said, Jordan, we got a really fun project, and he's a techie guy. Um, jumped on board, and I've put him through hell the past few days. We were here at what time? See, I was setting up on Friday, and you were here at 5 in the morning Saturday. This man was up at 5 yesterday, up at 5 this morning. Hell, here helping me set cameras on ladders. He's been working through all the technical problems, getting all the radios working together. And now he's sitting here playing with the joystick, having fun, capturing motorcycles on film. So, Jordan, thank you for doing this. Thank you very, very much. Do you like to say anything to the people at home? Hi, Mom and Dad, or M?
Hi, Mom.
Jordan's a great dude, but we're gonna end this up here in just a second. We'll follow these guys to finish the lap. There's the intermediate guys coming through turn 15. Looks like everybody's playing nice out there today. This is the type of day we like. Again, this is Circuit of the Americas, Ridesmart Motorcycle School. I think we're gonna sign off here. Jordan, let's kill this thing, and thank you so much, and we will see you in the next broadcast.